I've lived in Japan a long time now, and I figured I learned a lot of interesting things about this country. So I'm gonna share 7 interesting things that I learned about Japan today. The 7th thing that I learned will literally kill you. First things first. Despite Japan being a high context culture, they actually take what you say at face value a lot of the time. This kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because I feel like a high context culture, people should be interpreting your words all the time. But they actually tend to take what you say quite literally and not interpret it that much. And before I get in trouble for this, what I mean by what I'm saying here is that if you say something directly to a Japanese person, then they'll just take your direct statement at face value. In my opinion, I feel like they should interpret that a little bit more since it is a high contextual language. But I could see how that might just be subject to my own personal interpretation on this one. It's just made it a little bit harder for me to get used to how to communicate with people here. Being an American, I kind of always thought that Japan, as it is one of our largest allies, would have a pretty strong opinion of us. But people actually have a pretty mixed take on how they feel about America over here. Alcoholism is kind of nuts here. People kind of get super drunk and just pass out wherever, and people kind of just publicly leave those people. So like, I have on multiple occasions just been around, even in the summer or in the winter when it's really hot or really cold, seeing people just passed out in the park and left alone. On occasion, I think that the drunk people are actually dead. It's kind of shocking to me because in the States, like if somebody were to be left alone like that, then definitely the cops would be called. I think it's because alcohol is their only drug here. And so people are kind of used to seeing that a little bit. And people tend to mind their own business a little bit more than Americans do. Americans are quite nosy. I'm from the state of Florida, and that means that we only ever have one season every year, and that season happens to be summer. So it's quite surprising how many seasonal foods, clothing, behaviors, and activities there are for me. They actually have seasons, and since the country is small enough where all of the country experiences the same seasons just about, it's actually a big part of their culture. And this one isn't a surprise or anything, but it's been kind of hard for me. It's the lack of eye contact. Nobody makes eye contact here. You're actually kind of seen like a freak if you make eye contact with people. The reason why this is because, again, Japanese people like to respect other people's like privacy and space. And so when you're making eye contact, that can be seen as a little bit too intimate or direct of a communication approach. And so kids are actually trained to look at people's necks or anywhere other than their eyes growing up. Super weird for me because I come from a place where you like make eye contact and smile at people, but here you might be seen as a creep or a weirdo if you do that. I mean, even to this day, I think people still think I'm a creep or a weirdo because I still do that. So yeah, that's just about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if any of these points, especially number 7, was particularly surprising to you. And I'll see you tomorrow.